Hello everyone and welcome back to 55 Fitness. My name is Emily and today I have 55 Fitness instructor Sam here and she's going to guide us through a workout. 55 Fitness specializes in group fitness classes and personal training for women ages 55 plus. At 55 Fitness, no one ever feels intimidated, overwhelmed, out of shape or out of place. I'm Emily, come and join us. Okay, so hello everyone, welcome. We are going to be doing a lower body workout today. So for today, what you can expect is we're gonna do a quick little warm up and then we're gonna do a circuit of 3 lower body exercises. We're gonna repeat the circuit one more time through and we're gonna finish with a cool down. For the exercises today, all you're gonna need is a small object. A water bottle will work great. You just want it to be something small and something that's ideally not breakable. And then yeah, let's just jump in with that warm up. Sounds Ready good. to go? Yeah. So we're gonna just start by getting that body moving, rolling those shoulders back, and we're gonna start with that march, marching it out. Perfect. Okay, from here, we're gonna introduce a wide and narrow. What that's gonna look like is 2 big steps forward, making a V with those feet. We go in 3, 2, 1. Take it out, out, in, out, out, in. Really bending those knees on that wide. Making those steps nice and big. Once we have it, option here to add the arms in 3, 2, last one. Arms come up, up, in, up, in. If the arms are too much, just stick with me today. Last one. Back to that march, this time in that wide stance. From here, we're gonna add a tap of that right toe in 3, 2, 1. It's tap, 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 tap. Once we have it, option here to add those arms, reach them cross. Really bending those knees as you tap. Perfect. Back to that wide march in 3, 2, last one. March it out. Okay, we're gonna be finding our squat stance next. Knees stay in line with those toes. We're gonna do a 3 count squat down. It's gonna look like this. Squat, 2, 3, power up. Squat, 2, 3, power up. With your squat, knees in line with toes. Remember, toes can be facing forward or turned out, whatever feels best for your knees today. Sending that seat back into that imaginary chair. 2 more. Squat, 2, 3, last one, and we're gonna speed it up. 1 count. Squat, power up. Really watching those knees. Make sure they're not knocking in as you squat. So knees right in line with the toes. 3, 2, last one. Nice job. We're gonna warm up that hip joint next. I want everyone to imagine you're standing next to a log. You're gonna step over it and back. Okay, making that movement as big or as small as we need. Those knees don't have to be high. Okay, so if you can't lift them as high as Sam, you can stick with me here. Keep those knees a little lower. Perfect. 2 more each side. I can feel my hips warming up. Last one here. Okay, awesome job. We are ready to move. And for today, we're gonna be down on our mats for our whole workout, all right? So we're gonna come down onto our mat and we're gonna be starting off in what we call our bridge. So what this is gonna look like, I want us to set up with our ankles right underneath our knees. So we'll lay back on our mat. This is where you check in, ankles under knees. Core is gonna stay engaged, rib cage stays closed, and what's gonna happen is we're gonna lift those hips up for 2, lower for 2. You can go at your own pace, but I just want it to be those 2 movements. So it'll be lift for 2, lower for 2. If the 2 count lift is a little bit too much for you, you're gonna follow Emily. She's gonna be doing 1 lift and 1 lower, okay? If you're feeling like you can do the 2, you're gonna follow along with myself. I want you to make sure on those lifts, we're not overarching the back at all, okay? So core stays engaged, rib cage stays closed, and our weight is in our shoulders, never in that neck. All right, we're gonna be doing this exercise for 1 minute. So setting up, I want you to double check again, ankles right underneath those knees. Your core is engaged. We go in 3, 2, 1. It's gonna be a lift and lower. Thinking about really squeezing that seat the entire time. So you're always squeezing those glute muscles, even on that lower. You should be feeling this in the glutes, so your seat as well as in your hamstrings too. So really think of pushing into the floor as you draw the hips up and lowering back down. If you're feeling any discomfort throughout this movement, you can try not lifting your hips up as high. So even just doing a little lift today and lowering is good to start out with. Perfect, you are almost there. Well over that halfway mark. You have 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. If we need, we can hug those knees into the chest. Give them that little hug. That's gonna release any pressure on that low back. And when we're ready, we're gonna slowly make our way to our sides. And our next exercise, we're gonna be laying on our side and we're gonna be getting into our triangle clam. So for this one, we're gonna lay on our side. I want us to have a nice, perfect triangle between our ankles, knees, and hips. Shoulders are gonna stay stacked. That top hand can come out in front just for a little bit of balance here. From here, we're gonna think about bringing that top knee back towards the wall behind you and slow, controlled lower, okay? So as we do this one, again, you're thinking about driving our knee back as we keep everything stacked. So core is gonna stay engaged, shoulders stacked, hips stay stacked. We're gonna do each side for 30 seconds. So getting set up here, we're gonna go in 3, 2, 1. It's gonna be that lift and lower. Knee comes back towards that wall behind you and lower. And if you're finding this position here with the shoulder, if it's too much on that shoulder joint, if you have any shoulder issues here, you can always take a pillow from off your cushion or off your bed, place it underneath your head and extend that bottom arm out in front if you want to lay here, if that feels better on your shoulder joint. We're almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Nice work. We're gonna switch it over to that opposite side. So swinging those legs around, resetting here. So again, we wanna look for that nice triangle between ankles, knees, and hips. We're laying back. We're laying on our side, I should say. We're gonna go in 3, 2, 1. It's that lift and lower. Knee comes back towards that wall behind and lower. You're trying to light up the side of our seat. So that's your glute medius, glute minimus. Okay, sometimes our body doesn't want to feel that muscle turn on. So you can always place your hand there. That might help tell the brain, oh, I need to turn on that muscle. Or you can use touch too on that muscle as you go along, trying to wake it up as you draw that knee up and really keeping that top hip right on top of bottom hip. No leaning back. Almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Nice work. All right, so for our next exercise, we're gonna be making our way up to a seated position. And this is the one where we're gonna be using that little object. So what's gonna happen is we're gonna take that, I'm gonna use a water bottle. We're gonna take it and place it right beside the ankle of that left foot. For this exercise, your kneecap is always gonna face up towards the ceiling. That's just gonna keep us in that proper form, working that hip flexor as opposed to that inner thigh. Hands can come back behind you and act as a little kickstand. I'm gonna show you one option, and then Emily's gonna show you the modification, all right? So from here, what it looks like is you're gonna take that leg and it's gonna come up and over that object, all right? So it's gonna be a lift and a lower. If this is a little bit too much option, Emily's gonna show you how you can make this a little bit easier on that hip or those wrists.
Yeah, so if you do have any wrist issues and having your hands back is a little tough on the wrist, okay, what you can do is your non-working leg, you can bend it and you can place your hands here at your shin. Okay, growing nice and tall through your spine, you can lift up and over. Also too, if you're finding it hard with the hands behind, you're having some low back issues in this exercise, again, you can grab here, that will help as well. You really wanna think of staying tall through that upper body. If we lean back, we're not gonna be hitting the hip flexors like we'd like to. So we wanna keep nice and tall.
I always say leaning back is cheating a little bit. So making sure spine is up nice and tall. We're gonna go again 30 seconds each leg. So we're gonna start that first side in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's gonna be that lift, up and over. If your water bottle's a little too big, maybe you switch and you don't use the water bottle. Just think about tracing a rainbow with that heel.
We could always take that water bottle and you can flip it down like this. It's not gonna roll on you. And you can go up and over too if you need it a little bit lower.
Perfect. Final 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Maybe you shake out those legs. That one's a little trickier than it looks. All right, same thing on that other side. So opposite leg, you're gonna move that water bottle over, reset, spine up nice and tall. We go in 3, 2, 1. It's gonna be that up and over.
Keep growing taller and taller through your spine here and really try and focus on keeping those toes and that kneecap facing up towards your ceiling.
Keep that breath going.
And keep that leg as straight as possible. I know it burns through that hip flexor. Keep going, ladies. You can do it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Nice work. So place that water bottle to the side. Maybe give those legs that little shake. We're gonna reset and we're gonna do the same 3 exercises one more time through. So now we kind of know what's coming. We're gonna get started with that bridge. So again, we're coming back down onto our mat. Ankles are right underneath those knees. Core stays engaged, rib cage stays closed. And we are going to lift those hips, again, if we can, in 2 movements. If not, you're gonna follow Emily for that 1 count lift and lower. Okay, we go in 3, 2, 1. It's gonna be that lift and lower. Really thinking about squeezing that glute the entire minute.
Really pressing those feet down into the floor. Okay, drawing the belly in, ribs down. Really trying to fire up your glutes and your hamstrings. Keep breathing as we go along in this minute. Don't stop.
Think about controlling that lower. It takes you just as long to lower as it takes you to lift. I always say no back flops to the mat. So close. You have 10. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Slow, controlled lower. Nice job. Maybe hugging those knees into the chest. Feeling that release in that low back. from here, we're gonna roll onto our side and we're gonna get into that triangle clam. So again, remembering we're setting up perfect triangle between ankles, knees, and hips. We lay on our side, shoulders stacked, cores engaged. We're gonna go in 3, 2, 1. Driving that knee towards that back wall and lower. Lift and lower.
Now that the hips are warmed up a little bit, you might find that your knee can go a little bit higher, right? You're increasing that range of motion as you go along here in this clam. Keep that breath going throughout these 30 seconds.
Perfect. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Awesome job. Okay, we're gonna flip over. Same thing other side. So again, laying on our side, checking for that triangle. We go in 3, 2, 1. It's gonna be that lift and slow controlled lower. Takes you just as long to lower as it takes you to lift. Keep those shoulders stacked, keep those hips stacked, and keep breathing. Almost there. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Perfect. Okay, our final exercise already. We're gonna get into that hip flexor up and over, so bringing that object back in. Remember, if it becomes too much on those wrists or that hip flexor, you're gonna follow Emily. If not, you're gonna follow myself. So starting off with that left side, foot is flexed, kneecap faces the ceiling. We go in 3, 2, 1. It's gonna be that up and over. Again, spine up nice and tall. Again, if that water bottle is too high, right, bring it down and just start there. And as you go along, if you do this video more and more, see if you can get that leg up even higher. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Maybe that little shake. We're gonna reset on that other side. Final exercise before we get into that cool down. We go in 3, 2, 1. That lift and lower. Those toes pointing up towards the ceiling, kneecap pointing upwards. Really trying to get it right here in the hip flexor and the quad. We're working. Perfect. This one's short and sweet. I know it's getting tough. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Nice job. Okay, we can place that object to the side. We're gonna be starting off with a hip flexor stretch. So I want us to set up in our tabletop position. So again, wrists right underneath shoulders, knees right underneath hips. We're gonna take that right leg and it comes in between those hands. Slowly bringing those hands up towards your thigh. From here, you want to think about driving those hips forward. You're going to feel that slight stretch in that hip flexor as well as that quad. Really try and think about pressing that hip forward, like you're tilting those hips forward. We're going to take that opposite hand so your left hand can reach up and over. As we're reaching up and over, keep pressing that left hip forward. Slowly making your way back to center. We can bring our hands down to the inside of that foot, and we're gonna wrap that leg back around, resetting in that tabletop position. We're gonna do the same thing on that other side. So opposite foot now is gonna step in between the hands. Again, slowly and safely making our way up to our thigh. And you're gonna think about driving those hips forward. Breathing into that stretch. Whenever you're ready, you can take that opposite hand, reaching it up and over.
Keep pressing that right hip forward as we reach up and over with the upper body.
Perfect. Slowly coming back up to center. Hands can come back to the inside of that foot, wrapping that leg back around. From here, we're gonna make our way back onto our backs, and we're gonna stretch out that hamstring as well as that glute. So we wanna make our way back to our mats. I want you to bring that right leg up, and from here, we can reach for either that thigh or that calf, thinking about lengthening out through the back of that leg. Using your breath, so thinking of using those exhales to relax that hamstring muscle to reach a little bit further, lengthen that leg just a little bit more.
Really think of pressing the back of the knee towards the wall in front of you, getting that leg a little bit straighter.
One more deep breath here. And we're gonna make our way to our figure 4 stretch. So you're gonna take that same leg, so right leg is gonna cross over that left thigh. I want you to keep that foot flexed, and you're gonna think about driving that knee towards the opposite wall. Feeling that stretch in that hip, into that glute. If we need a little bit more of a stretch, we can thread the needle. So threading our hands around the calf, hugging the knee and ankle in towards the chest. If this is too much, you can stay in that figure 4. Again, slowing down the breath. Whenever you're ready, slowly releasing that stretch. We're gonna reset, same 2 stretches on that opposite leg. So resetting, both feet planted. You're gonna take that left leg, it's gonna extend up nice and long. Again, reaching for that quad or that calf, lengthening out through the back of that leg.
During this stretch, you can also think about your foot. See if you can try and flex your foot in this stretch, and that will kind of intensify that stretch up the back of the leg. If it's too much, keep your toes just normal or pointed.
Again, using the exhales to help you lengthen out through the back of that leg. When we're ready, we're gonna slightly bend that knee, finding that figure 4. So bringing that leg over the right thigh, foot stays flexed. Again, thinking about driving that knee towards that opposite wall. Staying here if it's enough, or option to thread the needle, hugging the knee and ankle in towards the chest.
Breathing through that stretch. Every exhale, trying to go a little bit deeper, or trying to draw the knee a little bit farther away from the upper body if you're here just in the figure 4.
And when we're ready, slowly releasing that stretch. We can slowly make our way to our side and safely make our way back up to that seated position. And we are all finished for the day.
Yeah, that was a great lower body workout. Well, thank you so much, Sam, for joining us today. And so if you liked what you saw today in the video, please subscribe to our channel, and we hope to see you next time here at 55 Fitness. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye.